Anyone who can see it. Locked in. Speed.
It's 3 to 5 on Saturday.
It's kind of sounds good.
1 to 3, and 3 to 5. So, it's 4 days.
Thanks, that's real sound. Yeah.
We're live.
Okay, thank you, guys. Everybody, welcome. I'm going to declare open this meeting of the Design Review Board and Historic Preservation Commission of the Village of New Paltz. This is our regular meeting for the month of February. This is February 10th, 2025. We are opening the meeting at 7:01. And our first order of business is to consider the January 13th minutes. I've reviewed them with Val. Does anybody see anything that needs to be? Nope. No, clear, okay. Motion to approve as amended. No, move, sorry.
Did you say approve as amended?
I did,
So what kind of amendment?
not amendment. No, thank you. As submitted.
Thank you.
Moved by Camilla, seconded by Stephen. All those in favor? And just for absolute clarity, it is as submitted now. Bill, anything cooking from the village board?
Not too much, other than wondering if you have questions regarding process of dissolution of the village government. My understanding that this designation of village would be lost, and would could possibly be referred to as a hamlet.
Does Hamlet have legal standing?
I don't know. But that's what our consultant suggested, that if it came to that, if it's borders within. I need to find out more about that. If there's hundreds of hamlets,
Yeah.
you know, throughout the state. You're still governed by the town.
I mean, that seems to be anticipating something that may be a tripping point for voters, right? Just complete erasure of
Yes,
identity, that might.
yeah, identity is one of those items of concern.
Yeah.
So that will be addressed. I don't think the village, like ourselves, identified people. So, I'm not sure every people has the same ring to it. But it's possible. You know, if you go, I think I provided a site that you'll go to the village. It's on the site. FAQ sections growing considerably. With questions that posed by residents and so it's a tricky time. Of course, all going to be how that will impact our lives. Now, we're running out.
Yeah, it's really helpful. I mean, that probably is the big thing on my mind.
Yeah, it's it will be through quite some time. So the voters actually meantime, which common positions that candidates make themselves known. So it's not shifting personnel. Been trying to find a history of New Paltz village government since 1862. I want to say, the village government was actually coming to see the route it took. I haven't quite put the finger on some lots of writing that's broadly but not specific to the development growth of those.
Have you consulted Carol?
Not yet.
Should-
I've asked
should
around.
maybe the one to stop.
Yeah, it's just, thought I'd try others as well. There's probably some newspaper articles, something like that. Place that I would think maybe the consolidation conversation would take place years ago.
Yeah, that's probably true. One of the same features. Maybe. Oh, that's really helpful. I don't remember getting that link. But did I just overlook it? Maybe we just follow up.
I mean, it have something. It's
I-
planning, so. Well, it was, you were included. Anyway, I can do something.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
because I think that may answer the questions. Just as a little sidebar to that, one of the items later in the meeting is conversation I had with John Arthur-Kelly, who's the chair of the town HPC. We both agreed that I'll just do the agenda. You know, we talked for about an hour about, basically trying to get ahead of this possibility, so there's probability that the village is going to resolve, and we should have something in place so that we're not responding to the coming November.
Well, you'll have plenty of time because the recommended suggested date of dissolution would be December 31st, 2026.
Okay,
That's the recommendation of our consultant. It's conceivable that things will be quicker than that. It's conceivable that it could be delayed beyond that, but that was what they were good. A year.
and now,
Yeah, so that all the ducks in a row and in this particular time, there seems to be a collaboration between the two entities, so I'm actually about to tussle about this, that, and the thing.
and we in particular always got along this time.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I learned, and I kind of knew this, but it was confirmed, that the town rarely has applicants. They rarely see a COA application, because they've got, I think it's a dozen landmark properties. They're pretty stable, and when somebody wants to do something, it's often like for like replacement. So their work is just very different. The way they conduct their meetings is different. So there have to be some figuring things out. Yeah. But they've got a very strong board with lots of individual talents that contribute. They seem to do a lot of grants, like that kind of stuff, and that's not really. Well, that's great. Thanks for that. Sure. And we'll follow up with that FAQ section. That would be.
Yeah. Yeah. So I need to go, get a. I need to.
Thanks for that.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah,
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks for that other thing.
Sure.
More of that is developed.
Great, thank you.
Great. Maybe since we're just sort of on that, so John, I've come up with about an hour. And, we both agree that if this comes, which I'm kind of assuming it's going to pass this time, I think there just seems to be a lot of enthusiasm for this stuff. So I think that we said kind of maybe starting in the summer, we would think about crafting something. And one of the big things based on our last meeting is, you know, maybe two separate boards, like the design review is one thing, HPC is another, and possibly, as Michael suggested, even be on the same meeting, or one or two, same example, and there are certain times when the work kind of feels, you know, the two processes feed each other. So I think that it would be smart to, you know, just get ahead of this, you know, if in November voters go in favor, maybe we're like first sort of consolidate. Maybe we kind of work it out earlier. So we'll see. I don't, there's nothing urgent at all. Summer seems like a good time to start thinking about these things. It's a good idea. It was really great that you were kind of enthusiastic about about the personality of this board, but they're not, most of them aren't really known to the conversation. Just kind of went down the list, they got like a web developer. Or editor slash writer. Great. Jude, come on up. Let's go to HPC 2501. This is Jude Custody for Historic Huguenot Street. Following up, this will soon enough be public hearing. You construct a stoop on the west wall that you has brick house that maybe 40 months. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be back.
Always a pleasure. I'm sure this is exactly what you wanted to do.
It's not too bad. It was a nice night out. It was
One of the things we agreed at the last meeting is you're going to check with Neil and Dan. Could you just kind of summarize what you said?
yeah, so basically what he told me was they had sort of concepts, well, what they were kind of basing this one off of was photographs taken from the 19th century, well, photographs of the house in the 19th century.
Yeah.
And then sort of based off the design off of similar plans that could be modeled using tools of the 18th century. And I actually have this exact word.
Sal's got it up there.
Okay, sure.
In the blue,
Okay,
which I didn't see when I asked you to summarize it.
yeah, I should have printed it out anyway. I should have printed out the email, but yeah, so they kind of passed that around between our organization and the HFA, which I think was actually before I was working at HHS. So I don't know if I actually have access to those illustrations, because I don't have Renzo's email anymore. But basically it's a relatively simple design based off of photographs of the earliest photographs we have of the house. So pretty rudimentary.
I mean, what I took from his answer is, you know, this is the closest we can get short of photographs, which you don't have of 18th century structures, right? So I have a lot of faith that Neil's done due diligence. You know, he's proposing, you're proposing something that's as close as we can. That's
And I do believe, I don't know if I have it in the COA, but there was like evidence they discovered that the structure did exist there. And they have pieces of foundation that would stay there underground. So there was something there. Just exactly what the original looked like.
simply questions about Neil's response or about the project. need to have a public hearing. This is even us, so is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Thank
Oh, those are the affidavits. All those in favor of opening public hearing, that's 40.
It's the motion, so.
Motion was by Stevens, seconded by Camilla. And voted 4-0 to open the public hearing. So I ask for any comments from the public, including public that may be listening or watching. Give that just a minute to see if anyone wants to. What's the timeline if approved?
Well, we kind of wanted to get it started in the spring. We've kind of gone back and forth over whether or not it would disrupt field trips.
Oh, yeah.
I think it kind of would. A lot of people really want to push this thing, so they want to get it done as fast as possible. So I said we could probably get started in March, and then field trips usually begin towards the end of April. And our contractor said he's going to be kind of back and forth between jobs anyway, so we might have to come back in the summer to finish it up, which would be most convenient because
Maybe I'll have a
yeah, exactly. So ideally, I think we'd probably be starting it in March or April, finishing up sometime in the summer.
Okay.
Same contractor that we used last year for the west, the east wall. And it's pretty straightforward build. There's no interior access necessary for this job, so it's pretty straightforward.
Nothing with time. It'd be a free state.
I believe so. There's some fastening to it, but nothing where he's going to have to be going into the house to meddle with anything from the inside of the building. So yeah, probably in the next couple of months.
Well, that seems really logical. We've not heard anything from,
Well, there's no chat function.
of course, that's right.
And I have to everyone join the Zoom and I haven't gotten anything else.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the record? Second. All those in favor of closing the public hearing? So colleagues, we just have some time for discussion if anybody has questions or observations.
Seems pretty good, try.
Pretty straightforward. I feel the same, and I have a lot of confidence that this will be historically sensitive, if not exact, and exact is probably a loose. Right? So, motion to approve as submitted. Moved by George, second by Camille. How we take turns? All those in favor? Okay, so that's 4-0. Congrats,
Yeah,
that's great.
so
Thank
thank
you
you so much.
Together, such a good proposal.
Yeah, I'll let Neil know tomorrow morning. He's very happy.
Yeah, that'll be great.
He's been waiting for this one for a long time.
Cal will communicate that to the building department, so.
Okay.
I know you're not there. How did things stand with the Portrait Lane project?
We are in the midst of construction actually right now. So you go there, there's actually a post already up. And we've kind of prefabricated everything in the shop. We wound up painting a house last summer and that took way too much time. But it did save money, and then the winter. Actually kind of has proven to be a better time to work on, just because things are kind of a little quieter around the streets and. Should be done within the next, I would say by the end of the month.
That's great.
So, yeah, stop by sooner than later and
Yeah,
come and check it out.
Okay, thank you.
congrats. That's-
Thank you.
Okay, thanks again.
You're welcome.
I sent all of you because I couldn't get into my email while doing this, photos, one photo from Jess, and then once that you shared this afternoon.
Oh, okay. So they came by email?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Cheers.
That sounds great. Jeff, good evening.
Good evening.
Come on up. How are you?
Good.
Good. Glad to hear it. So, tonight we're talking about, the chimney cap and then the plan B on the windows. Is that-
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
Siding as well. Or is that separate?
Yeah, siding, I just wanted to kind of bring that up, just see what the thoughts were on that. On the window, I had to finally get the windows out and get the sheet rock in. And that's when I was able to determine, you know, what was going on, yeah, so, yeah.
One of those surprises, right?
I guess it's not that much of a surprise, I was hoping for the best and. That's not gonna work out, so,
So, it's a nice thing.
but this was the chimney cap. This is the sort of like the basic one. I couldn't really come up with anything else. I thought about trying to do a slab up there, but then with the weight and it just seemed kind of risky. They also make one with a little hip roof, just kind of nice. But then I didn't want to sort of do something that would attract attention either. This is just simple, it's utilitarian.
And pretty low profile too.
Pretty low, yeah, because I don't know historically what these houses would have had on top of the chimneys anyways. I don't know if there's a chimney pot or something that they did back in the day, so,
Definitely didn't have caps.
yeah.
It looks to me like that is almost hipped. It looks
I
like
think,
it's got
yes, it is,
bend.
it is, there's a fancier version, which is pretty, I don't know, I don't think I even sent it. But it's a proper little, like, standing seam hip roof.
Mhm.
It's very nice looking. I'd probably do it if I was building a new house, but it just, I didn't wanna like, my thought was like, oh, you're drawing attention to
Yeah.
this new item up on the top of the chimney.
I'm remembering our conversation about the ridge as well, the conclusion that we all came to was, you know, we're not trying to draw attention.
Yeah.
To that.
It's part, you know, when you get, if you're gonna have a fireplace you're gonna use, you wanna have all that, plus the, you know, it's all just brick up there, it's all, so there's a little bit of a step back. So right now, all the moisture is just coming in on top of bricks and so this will cover that, protect it.
Is there one flue in that chimney?
Both chimneys have two flues. Only gonna use the ones for the upstairs fireplace. One of them there was a boiler in the basement, and it was using one of the flues. Then the other one, there's another, I guess maybe they had a boiler at the other end at one point, or a wood stove or something down there. But there's 4 flues going on, but only gonna use 2.
One in each.
Yeah, one in each.
Is this gonna cover the entire chimney or
Yes.
just one flue?
It's gonna cover the entire chimney.
Right, that's a good.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Personally, I don't see a better solution. I mean, I think the spirit is keep it minimal. And, that looks like it does.
Looks simple.
Are these custom made? Fit your chimney?
They custom make it to the chimney, yeah, so it's gonna fit right snugly around it. And that has the black powder coat. The other version is the stainless steel, which I think that would probably be better than the stainless.
I strongly agree.
Yeah.
Stainless steel would look really anachronistic. Okay, great. So everybody's good with that piece of it?
Yep.
One
last question, where are you having them made?
This is coming from northeastern masonry, Selkirk. They sell the inserts, the flue, it's gonna have flue liners, inserts, and then caps. It's northeastern fireplace and masonry or something like that.
Have you used something like that?
My sister used them on her house, she lives just up island there. And it came and did it. It's been working for 2 years.
Great.
The price was pretty much what she paid, so.
And they do the measurement, you're not responsible for.
Yes, yeah. They've already been up there.
Great.
Did all that. So.
Okay, so that's part one. Part two is windows.
Did you get that?
I did, but it was too late to get it
Oh.
on this, so I sent it to each of
Okay,
you.
Okay.
so
And I
I just.
also wrote this.
So, thanks. Um. So, which were you leaning toward?
It would be the same, those are double hungs, this would be. The casement with the double hung, sort of grill pattern,
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the casement SDL, the one in the middle.
because the four gable windows are the casement. With the wide, I forgot, check rail, I think they call it. And. This would be the same, an Anderson window, the same. So everything would be the same, and then the shed dormer windows are awning windows, which are basically the casement.
and that was your only option, as I recall, right? Wasn't there the?
Yeah, because it's kind of tight. And then also casements, they don't want to make it too squat. And I think one of them was. They didn't really want to do it, because they're not all the same size, the shed dormer windows. But when I took out the existing double hung. That was actually a replacement window itself. So there's that frame is in there, and then beyond it is kind of where you can tell the original window would have been, which was probably, I mean, I don't know if it was a casement or double hung or. But
That's a great question. I don't know, could well have been.
yeah, these, I think these dormers were done in. When they did the back, maybe. It was in the report that they did for the house when it was a historical report done. When all the variations were done. But those big peaks in the front they're old. Shed dormers, I think, are newer.
Yeah, we discussed it. Well, that strikes me as a good solution, and it gives you the casement functionality from the street, which is fine.
Yeah, it should look, it should look, I mean, it should look good, because the bottom windows, the double hungs, once all the stickers come off, they went in really well the way they went in. It was actually worked out just like I planned, and I was kind of happy about it.
That's good.
So,
And for the casement SDL style, can they come very close to that median rail width? I think that is something we discussed in the other cases, so just
Yeah, I think
making sure that it's not a scrawny.
it's pretty, yeah, it looks about the same as the double hung. Maybe even a little bit wider. I don't know if there was a real option on that with the Anderson. The other reason I was doing casement is one of them is an egress window. Right, the other one is not, so.
But then you've got.
Then you have two different windows again.
Yeah,
That's.
I mean, to me, this sounds like a great plan. You haven't ordered them yet.
Yeah.
So maybe if I could suggest just making sure to get that median rail as close.
Yeah.
Consistent as possible.
He was gonna send me a price. But then I have to kind of figure out. He couldn't give me the exact measurement, so I have to scale it off of the ones that I already have. Like, so that it fits just the way that I wanted to.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get that precisely. Because you have to order the whole window, you can't just order a pan for some reason.
Interesting. Yeah, because they are effective.
Yeah. It's and the gable windows were different than these. They went in pretty simply.
Any thoughts or questions about this one? I think it's straightforward. I mean, we really appreciate that you're doing this kind of care, for taking this kind of care. And then the result is gonna be great. Good. And then you wanted to talk about the novelty side.
Yes, okay, so that's what's on there
Yeah.
now. That's readily available. And there's some parts I'm gonna have to decide. And then I was thinking all the other gables in the house are just a standard clapboard. And then, with the recent events, California, I kind of thought, well, you go to a hardy plank, then you have a little bit of a fireproof layer. And it's a stone house, and then you have wood part, maybe. All things being equal, if you could get a fireproof siding. Not that it's much of a threat here, but maybe in some other way.
Yeah. I mean, even just at the maintenance level.
Yeah, maintenance would be much easier, because I had it on my other house. And when I sold it, it was like 20 years old, and the paint was fine. It was in very good condition. There's also a side porch, where it's like come out of the kitchen, and there's like a porch. It's a stone patio.
Yeah.
And then that's where the bump out is.
Right.
Part of the wood front, and that's kind of like, it's not something I would do, but it's a good spot for a barbecue. And if it goes up against the wooden part of the house, I know when I was, back in the day when I was building houses for a living, my siding guy used to say he would, once a month, he would go to somebody's house and replace the melted vinyl siding, and put their grill in the
I see that in people's. There's one board every day. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of practical reasons, I guess, if I can speak for myself, the virtue of wood would be just historical consistency. So, if your overall idea is to get rid of the novelty siding for clapboard to match, I would be in favor of that.
Okay,
because
yeah.
it's pretty historical.
Yeah,
And then it's kind of a toss up. I mean, if it were a property in Huguenot Street, we wouldn't be talking about the Hardy side. Or what's the name of that product that we looked at?
LP,
LP Smart Side is a nice product. It's like a stranded wood and composite. It's got a blue in it. But that stuff is pretty nice. Middle ground, and I think price wise it's about the same.
I mean, I was fine with this, but on both walls where the windows are being replaced, they gotta be resided completely. So now you say, well, you do it where it matches the door, the shed, the gables a little better, and then it's got a little fireproof component.
Yeah, it's very true. What do people think?
the hardy board, the profile is a little different than
Yeah.
real.
Yeah,
Wood clapboard,
Yeah,
I think it's gonna show on a house like this. It's
like
more deserving of the
it's
real
the
thing here.
grades at most.
Yeah.
Like probably a rigid clad or.
And it's a very square edge
Yeah,
versus an east.
yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't have the wedge shape either.
Right. And that's true of the smart siding too, it's just a.
Yeah.
rectangle. None of this is visible from Huguenot Street, right, except that little, like the driveway side.
It's on the driveway side. It's not that visible. I mean, if you look, you can see. There's a white wood structure back there. I don't know if you can really, how much you can tell what type of siding it is when you know it's a wood painting. siding.
Is this section of the house added on later?
Yes, yeah, this was the section that burned, I think in 40, something like that. And then was rebuilt, and then I think the garage was added in like the 60s.
That seems right.
Yeah,
Probably your garage door that's failing.
yeah, and that was original.
No, we don't have from the original application a shot of the.
Yeah, I think we have all those shots there.
So. Just not sure where everything is, so.
I'm looking, it's now a 27 page document.
You know, it's-
I think you may have the record. This application.
Yeah,
There it is. So that's the straight on view from Huguenot Street. What we're talking about is just to the right.
Yeah,
north
it's about,
side.
like, you
Yeah,
want
it's the north side.
does that show you in that?
If.
I think we have a side view.
side view?
Yeah, if we have an oblique view or side view.
Yeah, it's not an angled view, it's a straight,
There we go.
that's the back. So that, none of that part was visible. You already see that.
That's the south.
Okay, there you
That
go,
was the little,
yeah. So there's a stone patio.
Yeah.
That's where it bumps out.
So that little clapboard up in the gable, that's regular clapboard up there.
That's real clapboard, yes, that was. On the other side, it's original, this side was rebuilt, but it's like the same material though.
would it be too weird to have collaborated, now this does take away the barbecue question, but you're not gonna do it, so. I'm just thinking, the most likely to be viewed from the street is just that little push out.
Yeah,
I mean, would it be too weird to bring it to the corner, trim and then go the smart side and already work from there on out?
I think it's just to see it easy to move the grill.
oh, yeah, I
Off
was,
the house.
Yeah.
And keep it all original the same.
I was actually saying wood on that side, just because that's more
Yeah.
visible to the street. That's what I'm thinking, I mean, I'd probably sort of get away with it, but. Such a beautiful house, Jeff. And I think I'm leaning toward recommending stay with wood. I don't think it'll be much of a price difference.
no,
And properly primed.
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, I just brought it, it's just something because I gotta those sections have to be essentially redone anyway, because you don't really see it in this, but. Can you go up one more,
One more.
or down?
Down.
But that would be,
No, that's back, one more,
that's fully back.
back. Okay, so you see where the two windows are.
Yeah.
Like that's, you can't really see it, but there was other openings in there. Like that window was a door at one point and the other window was like a little bit bigger, one we removed. So that's all gotta be replaced. Anyway, that's why I was looking for recommendations on it. As long as we're doing all that anyway, but.
Yeah, and boy, it'll really clean up that side too, won't it? I find myself leaning toward, you have such a gem of a house historically that,
Yeah, it may look
yeah,
a little,
yeah.
yeah, I don't have a problem with that. That's why I just kind of brought it up, just to get a general feel.
No, it's a totally reasonable question, and the newer materials have some practical advantages. Wouldn't hesitate on a different house, but
Yeah,
this is a really historic. So conclusion, stay with wood clapboard, match the reveal to the, which is probably looked a little bit. bigger than-
it's, yeah,
6 inch.
it's something like that,
wood.
it's not the 4 inch. It's more New England.
Yeah. That sounds great. So my notes are saying yes on the chimney cap as proposed. Casement window, imitating SDL, yes, with a note to just checking the meeting rail width and wood clapboard to match the reveal of the gable.
Yeah, and I'll email, once I get an actual window size, I'll just email the specs from
That'd be
the
great.
supplier.
That'd be great. You know, good. Shall we, any questions or? comments?
No, I think that's pretty clear.
Let's just, so we're official, is there a motion to approve those things? Chimney cap, casement window, wooden re-siding. Motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? I read it. Jeff, as always, thank you so much. All right.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yep. We'll eventually get this thing up to 30 pages.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking what next. I did have another
Okay.
question, was on the sidewalk. Is that part of this committee?
Yeah, well, so our mandate is significant landscaping features, which we've usually taken to mean permanent landscape features. Is this the sidewalk just to the front door?
Yeah, it's right to the front door,
And is it bluestone?
it's bluestone. And
Yeah, there it is.
so the stones you can see there, I don't think that they're original. Well, I know they're not, because I have a picture of the house with the original sidewalk was elevated. But there's a really big stone. Like, see that little step? So you come here and then there's a step,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
but under that step is a huge slab. So my stone guy said that huge slab should be at this height. And then he has in his inventory, like hand cut big chunks. And he said to get rid of these, because these are, they're random pieces. And he said that they should,
He's got.
he has, he's been around for a long time and he comes across stuff and he buys it. But they're bigger slabs, so it'll, like this sidewalk would be, instead of all the pieces, it would be bigger pieces, not the whole width, like this one would be the whole width, this big slab here. But then the rest of them would probably be like half,
Was his, just so I'm clear, his suggestion was to raise that slab up, make it the step.
the big one, so you're coming off of this landing onto another landing about the same size. Because it's probably like a 4x8 stone or something like that. Which is kind of what these are. Yeah, it's huge. And then step down, and then this would be bigger stones. And they're all, I think they're hand, because the edges are all chipped.
That's great.
And I bought some, on my other house, I bought a couple of them for a fireplace.
That sounds like a huge improvement,
Yeah.
rather than the random and the lower step.
Because I asked him about it, I said, oh, we gotta rebuild this, because it's time, it's settled or whatever. He goes, you gotta get rid of it. Or that part. Yeah, I think that maybe those stones might have been scavenged off one of the walls on the side. And they just did it, but.
Yeah. I think that would be a notable improvement.
I agree.
Yeah, is there a way of maybe getting a little drawing on how he's gonna lay it?
I'll see what he has in size,
And then
yeah.
just, we could get an idea how it's gonna look.
That seems prudent.
Little hand drawing, just a
Yeah,
rough idea how it's gonna look.
I mean, his general idea is irregular rectangular square pieces.
Yes, big. The bigger pieces you would see in a sidewalk. He doesn't have anything that's big enough to go, the full length, but. They're probably, 2x3 pieces or maybe even a little bit bigger.
That would be absolutely great. A couple of months, maybe a year ago now, we had a presentation on bluestone in Hudson Valley. And one of the images that our guest showed us was a slab that was about 6 inches, maybe even more thick, and it was like 20x14. It was really prized, and if this thing was going to the roundout, to be shipped out to New York.
Yeah,
Where you still occasionally see slabs, the size of the
Yeah.
table,
yeah,
still doing fine.
yeah.
150 years
I think the Dakota apartment still has their original down in
later.
Manhattan. I think they still have the original bluestone around their building anyway. It's a tree, but it's.
Yeah, that would be the heyday, because that was built in the late 19th century. That sounds great. We're saying yes, it'd be great to have a drawing, just.
Okay,
Do final
Yeah.
approval, but the concept is, can we, all agree that we're, yeah, okay.
absolutely. All right,
Thanks for bringing that up.
Thank you.
To me, that's a really big win. I think it's.
yeah. When he, like I thought, you just, relay that one and he was like.
That's why you can do that.
Said, okay.
All right, thanks very much, Jim.
All right.
See you. Okay, everybody, I'm just gonna rip through, I guess we're gonna rip through 2 things and then we'll be right to you. Quick update on Harmony Hall. Val, was I in time with my photos? Like an hour before?
Well, Old Village Pizza.
No, Harmony Hall.
You
It was too-
sent me something that wasn't attached.
Uh,
I had a message, but I didn't have it.
I think what's going on is it's an embedded photo and
Oh.
some
Yeah, I don't
platform.
think it should.
We don't necessarily need the photo, but things are clicking along at Harmony Hall,
Which is,
that's next year, next to the ridge.
oh, okay,
Harmony Hall's the seniors.
okay.
And I have to say, have a look for yourself. To me, it looks better than it did in the drawings. Yeah, which is always a nice surprise. So, how we were, very aware of how that roof is gonna look. The shape is good and it's all enclosed. Pretty sure they have the windows. Like
Yeah,
the
they do.
They do, yeah. So, things are clicking along and I feel like that really was a win for our inputs and really helped out a lot with the color scheme. So that's good report. George, do you know anything further about 199 Main?
Yes, the windows just went in.
Okay.
This past week.
I think. Yeah, that would explain why I saw 2 different styles of windows up and down.
Should be the same.
Okay, then
Yeah.
that's.
They're all pretty much 6 over 0. Really what was there, the same exact grill pattern. And they're all SDLs.
And
Yeah.
and then the siding.
I don't, he's out of town, so I don't know when he's gonna stop, but I gotta believe it's gonna be soon.
That sounds great. Thank you for shepherding that.
You want to talk about those front steps, just to get everything?
Yeah, so there was, when we were preparing the minutes, so Val always drafts the minutes and then shows them to me, and I added something about the current brick steps. What we said at the meeting was that they were gonna be removed and
Covered in wood is what we said.
are covered in wood. And we, according to the recording, we just said, okay. Afterwards, I emailed Ed and copied George, and we kind of got into a discussion about would you like to save those or cap them in bluestone, which I think would be a huge advantage for, durability, but also look at the thing. So I think he's seriously thinking about that.
Yes,
And if you have any influence,
absolutely.
I think it would be.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get close enough to see how degraded they were, but If they're gonna be.
Not that bad, they need a little, you know, tender loving care.
Are they structurally solid, do you think?
It's mostly solid. There's a little, settling, one or two of them at the center, but it could be fixed.
Yeah. There it is. You know, I think that would just be great and
Yep.
get some bluestone in there and you really got something that'll last and go.
Yep.
So anyway, that's a long way of saying I had amended the minutes. Remembering that discussion, but forgetting that it didn't happen in the meeting.
Yeah, no.
That's where it came from.
I'll bring it up to Ed again and when he makes his, before he makes his final decision, we'll be in touch with you.
That would be great, and then again, if you do it.
Yep.
I think in that email, I also said that I was really happy with the product I got from Lapla. You sell up in, no, sorry, it's not Lapla, with a Bluestone company up there, it used to be a quarry, they pretty much don't quarry there anymore.
What town is that?
It's up near Neshoba residence. I know it's on Lapla Road and it's down this like 1 mile dirt driveway, it's a fascinating place. Pack, Sacramento Bluestone? Is
Oh,
that-
yeah, Pat, yeah.
Yeah, they're really,
Yep.
really good. Pack, that's it.
Yep.
So we'll follow up everyone.
Yep.
Design review, DRB 2502, is Chestnut 32 LLC. Doing business at Shorty's at 81 North Chestnut Street. Please come on up, it's really nice to welcome you and meet you.
Thank you, good to meet you too.
Heard a little bit about what we do on the historic preservation side. This is more design review, so we're looking at the design that you're proposing and thank you for putting together a really nice clear presentation or packet. Would you like to tell us about your vision for the project and timeline? What are you thinking in terms of opening?
We're hoping for April at some point. As far as like the vision, Julie is the owner of Huckleberry, recently closed, and we co-own Darlings. So, not the same thing as Huckleberry, but similar casual dining, outdoor seating, family friendly establishment.
That's great. Very my impression was that the design you had in mind was very joyful. Yeah.
One of the things that we always loved about Huckleberry was how kind of hidden and secret it felt, and so trying to figure out a way to achieve something like that to size 32, you know, make people feel like they're in a little kind of secret space and post off.
Does have the rail trail there, which I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Which is great.
That's just not the whole rise up.
Yeah.
And I think this is even a little plank bridge or.
Yes.
But from this building to the rail trail, I think there's already a little footpath type thing.
It's just a little.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's just a.
Yeah, it's not hard, but.
Okay, so let's, if we could go through it, so the plan is, we have the paint color that you have in mind. And that I'm guessing will have to wait until after April, just because it's exterior. Painting, so. Well,
I mean, we'll get it done before we open.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
Is that
Yeah,
the paint color of the roof? Is that a metal roof there on that building?
I'm pretty sure it's metal, right?
Yeah,
And it's already red.
yeah, so we're talking about the exterior, which is kind of the sides of the sides and the back of the building more than the roof and the overhang.
this is the, that's where you got it, which is right there, it's nice, joyful.
Yeah, I saw that, yes.
Yeah, I took some pictures, I could have thought for you,
I can send them to everybody, so.
okay, yeah, if you want.
Oh, you just saw recently.
If that answers the question about what surface we're.
Oh, okay, great.
Are you planning on removing the pickup window, the checkout window?
Yeah, that was just a question I had. And so the,
You kind of plotted like a rough site map on that one, so like on the side, there's a bunch of metal planters that are, on the side of the road. We're gonna move those to act as a barrier, and there's a awning goes over that drive-through window side. So the planters would be under there, some room for tables, we would cap it with a planter.
So you still have people driving around, like where people picked up and out that way. I mean, there's that one post right in the middle. where
Right.
You need
So-
some sighted.
yeah,
So that's the. I would, whatever way we can encourage customers not to go that way, we would do, but it's the main. The main function for us of that is for deliveries, because large trucks can't get into that parking lot and turn around. So if we close that access, then all of our deliveries would have to stop on 32 and unload. And some of these deliveries, like when they have kegs, it takes a half hour for them to get the delivery together and get it in the building. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to close that, just have seating or parking, but
no, that's, yeah, totally understand.
it is a weird hazard. Side.
Did everybody get a chance to, if you wanna open the email, you'll see, or otherwise, I've got it right here. That's the awning, and it is. And then it gives way to a slide.
Is that awning gonna match the paint color of the building?
No, it's close. Yeah, and we're gonna touch it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, that could use paint too.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, there's on that corner, where the trucks would turn to get back on 32. There's some damage to, the fascia board. And there's actually a little bit of, I think it's separation. I mean, this is a landlord issue rather than your issue, I would assume, but there's some damage right
Yeah,
there.
that's so.
And that feels like, I mean, now would be the time to get that under control. Reduce it with the- Yeah, I think it'd be meaningful. And then is the plan to just remove the window altogether, because it sticks out about that much, right? Is that just coming out and would flush?
No, we're gonna leave it. It's actually somewhat usable. There's no basement, there's no closets, it's just a box, and it's kind of usable space for us to have any indents or whatever that we can have there, so we were gonna leave the window. Yeah.
Could it be a pass through for wait staff?
No, I think,
Okay.
yeah,
To Camilla's question, so the red that you proposed is just for the awning or for the whole building? Whole building, so it really is gonna be bright red. Okay. Yeah. Did everybody get a chance to look at the furniture and the doors? And that's where I was getting a lot of the joyful vibe. So the signage is going to occupy the current Village Pizza sign, which is the ice cream cone staying?
Still on the fence.
I think you're gonna find we would strongly encourage that. That building's got a lot of history.
Yes, I know it's pretty iconic. I think it makes sense to us to keep it if we're able to do some kind of ice cream. But we certainly can't do an ice cream window like it's functioned for so long, but we are looking into like soft serve machines and stuff. It's just a matter of financially it makes sense.
I don't know, like software certain machines new are like $15,000 to $20,000. And then you have to have a service contract monthly to service those. So unless you're selling a lot of ice cream, which is not our main vision for the place, it's like pretty substantial to do, and yeah. So we're looking at it, making calls to the leasing equipment.
I mean, are you really bound to? I mean, I think especially local people would very quickly understand that that's historic, almost like a gas station.
Right.
There's a beautiful restaurant that you know up in Woodstock. That used to be a gas station, it's got a big sloping thing, and it still kind of has service station vibe, and everybody knows it's a restaurant. The cone, yeah, I mean, it would use a few people, but I don't think that it's got, you know, could really capitalize on the historic value of the creamery.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, aesthetically, I would, just a matter of, it's not going to make sense. We don't do that.
I see your food drink patio pinball. Would you be able to retain any of those vintage ice cream, sodas, cones, lettering on the side?
Like where they have the current signs on it, yeah, I think that would be cool, yeah, that's kind of the. You're just talking about the font essentially.
Yes.
Yes,
Raised letters.
yeah, the race, I think that was the idea.
That was,
They were gonna
that
be
was the plan, yeah.
raised.
Yeah,
Stay with it. How are the letters attached? Do you know?
I don't, we haven't gotten up there yet.
Someone painted around them rather poorly, I think.
Yes, they
Yeah,
At
they-
some point.
There it is.
But casually, I won't say poorly, I would say casually.
Yeah.
It would be lovely if they could be retained somehow, even in a box somewhere. Just because, you know, I'm now thinking about the history of this building. Obviously, it's been having use and it's a great use, but there's something that can be done to save those.
Well, we love using found objects and repurposing whatever we can in these builds, so I mean, even if it's for signage inside, I'm sure whatever
Great
we
idea.
do outside, we can make use of inside, yeah.
Someone's gonna walk in and say, I saw the cone upside, like in the building, and I walk in and it says ice cream, where's the ice cream?
It could be such a fun thing to like put on the menu. And there is, we just received this from a former member of the board, but. You know, it's intimately attached to one of the most significant family farms that kind of was the outlet for this series.
Is that that's why it was built? Was
Yeah.
Creamery for them?
Yeah,
Well.
so it's a deep, that's why I'm kind of leaning in.
Yeah.
You're actually building with a really deep interest surface, which we can help you with, by the way. You know, I don't know where you are with like making concept or whatever. We figure out some of that stuff.
Yeah, right now we've just been focusing on innovation, and the menu development comes down the road a little bit.
Well, it's beautiful. I mean, I think it's gonna be really enticing. And definitely improve what's there. Improve the feeling of the
It's nice to hear.
Yeah, if ice cream cone gets a little confusing, maybe it could be the one on the side.
We can find space for it, it's not too big in there.
Yeah, I'll keep you guys informed with whatever we're.
Yeah,
thinking about.
yeah, I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody, but it'd be really good to keep it historically. It's a matter of local culture. Great, does anyone have questions?
And I have the right incorporated lots of plans, just the colors that. We can have the red and the pink, and it's a warm and it's.
Would be nice to see it updated somewhat.
Yeah,
Cleaned up.
cleaned up and
Yeah,
we hope vibrant.
yes.
I also hope you get a lot of business with rail track. You
Yeah.
know, the Empire Trail comes right on the edge of your property. People would literally come from New York City. They can see it.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do something, like, I don't think we're gonna be. Like serving tables back there or anything, but I know he has picnic tables. For people just to come off the rail trail and take a seat, like, we're that's great, like, we have to put new different tables out there and that'd be great, make it more accommodating.
One thing to think about is free cyclists on this road, I tell you, but people with serious bikes don't like to leave them at a random bike stand. They want to have them right next to their table. So that's your hope. Think about that. People get really nervous. about
Yeah, a good example is on Drive Fly.
Yeah,
At the zero place, you see the bikes, you could go in the shop and watch your bike. And we leave our bikes there when we're riding.
yeah,
And a
So
lot
you're saying just having a bike rack visible from where you're sitting,
like if you go with
Yeah.
Somewhere that would work for you, that someone could sit near their bike, going and get something
Yeah,
to eat.
yeah.
There
Because
was
a lot
one,
of the people I'm talking about
That's
do not carry a
Good
lot,
point.
they wouldn't trust their lot
sure,
right.
to a bike stand.
there was one by the road
yeah,
for a while, and maybe it's still there, but.
Well, luckily, most of the building's glass, so there's lots of windows to look out.
Yeah, you know, you have a lot, I mean, so much of the seating is outside, so if you just kind of think about a policy where your wait staff and customers aren't tripping over people's bikes, but you know, maybe they lean against some of the
Yeah.
dividers or something. That sounds great. So what happens next is, I will write up the summary. And we'll go to the building department. And do you have your permit yet? Or-
Mhm.
Okay, so he's waiting for our input and it's all positive. So, you know, I'll just kind of keep these suggestions in mind as I write.
fantastic.
Great,
Thank you so much.
looking
for your
forward to
support.
it. We really look forward
Yeah,
to
we are.
We are
It is like-
too.
that's the way I-
Yeah. Look forward to having you over there.
it.
Thank you.
Sorry about Huckleberries, a lot of people really slow.
This window opened, so it's, it worked out.
Good attitude.
That's why your place looks so nice. Do that too.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks.
guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Thank you. What's the last name? Oh, sure, it's DADBS. Thank you.
That's great. So I have a feeling a short efficient move. Railroad is predictable. This is basically good news all around. Wednesday evening, I'm going to present for less than 15 minutes to move forward. The plan that we've talked about, railroad siding just to the east of the current station. That board project plus the support of our board, the town HPC, the village, sorry, the town historian, and the Washington Land Trust. So there's a lot of support plus the Pulse Community Foundation's agreeing principle to the banker. So I think, you know, it's really good at this point. Haven't heard anything by way of update for 11 Water Street, where the is now. Should start at some point. Huguenot Street report. Any questions on that? We were not directly involved with our support is sure. Now you probably are closer to what's going on with 111 Huguenot Street.
I haven't gotten anything from Greg, but I think we will be getting something, we hope by the end of the month, so we should have it from March.
Has he hinted at all what the
Sounds like a variety of things. And
Okay. Stephen, do you know anything about your neighbor's garage project?
I have not, I mean, Shane mentioned just a little bit last month that his dad was planning on doing something in the garage, but yeah, Shane said he didn't think he's gonna get anything official for this meeting, which he didn't. So I have not spoken with him, and actually I haven't seen his folks much the last couple of weeks. So I'm with the show right there, so it's a 3-car, 3-bay garage. Built to the property. So that's, I was curious to how that was.
Back in the day,
Many years ago, things were different.
to say nothing of these symmetrical doors. Right?
Yeah, 2 doors naturally,
Doors
so
are actually one building.
so, you know, we're. Neighbors were curious to see what the plans are.
That's great. 152 Huguenot Street is a really straightforward exterior. Light to light color. We acquired. The event, we're just waiting to do the color. It's
Yes, so I have a first press release about the actual impact on the, I think it's gonna be within this week's, report. I think that's right. And they'll list of artists have been notified this, but I got this feedback. And I talked to James about reception dates, and we told him May 31st, Saturday, and on to it's not in addition to the very other programs that we would. That's it's not a whole very. That is really so.
that's great. 1 to 3 p.m. is usual.
I've already got a trip to Europe on my calendar for that day, but it's not set in stone yet, so. I might not be there, but that's okay.
You have to pass.
Surely you would put a for a 2-hour reception.
Back.
Yes.
It's gonna be a long trip.
We'll Skype you.
Just like.
Um,
Yeah, it was in person.
No, thanks, that's wonderful. Things to have you given any thought to judges this year?
But I think it's really nice to meet that popular that we have last year.
Yes.
That was really nice. And a lot of people participated.
Everybody recall last year for the first time. There was a not necessarily show, but popular vote. Which ended up being judges. What would you do if that coincided with the best of the show or with the top firms?
And then they would just go
They get both.
for
Be nice to see if we could get maybe one of the high school or middle school faculty to judge. Maybe to get more.
I think I've done instructors, but everything over can just.
Well, to be thought about. Budget wise, we're in good shape. The NAPC subscription renewal, as I recall, is about $100. It's good for us to belong to this national organization. Any objection to renewing? So that's included. Code revision. So I really thought that the last bit of our last meeting was good on the subject of thinking about a way to make the design review board clearer and probably, I think we were all leaning toward probably separate from HPC. All of this gets mixed up with what's going to happen to the village, but I will carry those ideas to Monday. As this happens, and he may feel like, he doesn't want to do a whole lot of work on it with the moving referendum village. So I'll sound it. Conversation with John Locatelli, I told you about. I I've got nothing yet on the oral history of Williams. I do want to talk to Edgar, Mr. Seafried to my left, but it's out of town, out of the country,
No,
out of town.
just down south.
However, I'm gonna be gone for the March meeting. I want everybody to come back next week for about a month. So miss the March meeting, but email. Stay in touch as best I can.
That is March.
March 10th, I want to say.
Yeah.
A lot.
Down here.
Okay, that's great. So we should do that. So Zoom meetings. Okay. 5D, at some point I will reconnect with Shane. We're so close on having that document done, but it's really hard to connect.
You know, it'll be worth it.
I think it will, but it's just that you wait, it's so long. Val, thank you for the annual mailing.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah, did you get yours?
Got it, yeah.
It's great.
I was like, who do I call? Oh, yeah, me.
Good. And then I think everybody got that email about opportunities for the annual training. So we can follow up with that. And Val, you also forwarded the preservation.
Yeah, so there's the, the mandated training, new date for. And you can see it, that's what she will go through.
Yep. Sounds good. Thanks for doing that. Update from Secretary. So the plan was we would interview a candidate last week. She was not feeling well and it happened to be the day that the village hall closed. This is the weapon. So it's rescheduled for tomorrow. We'll see if it looks like a match, but it's somebody that I know and years ago talked. Feel very strong about it. So smart person and good person. So we'll see if things go that way.
Big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill. I'm gonna do my best not to
Very tough.
well on that tomorrow, but
Very tough.
Doing things different, it's not a bad thing.
I mean, the less anxiety producing version of big shoes is that, things are in very good order. And good standing in the village and all the rest, thanks to you, Val. That's what I've got for public part of the meeting. Michael dropped off the book, but I think has almost certainly decided to step away. He's still waiting for final confirmation from the village, but I thought it might be good to go to executive session for just a couple of minutes to talk about that. Okay.
I move that we end the course.
Okay.
And I don't take a motion in that. So, live stream.
Okay, so seconded by Camille. So the vote is to end the meeting, go into public, or end the public meeting, go into executive session, and then finish it. With that. All those in favor?